For years, Burkina Faso has been perceived through a lens of hardship, landlocked, resource-challenged, and beset by political unrest and security threats. But today, something remarkable is happening. This West African nation is undergoing a powerful transformation, driven by bold leadership and a vision for inclusive, sustainable development. Under the guidance of Captain Ibrahim Traoré, Burkina Faso is not just surviving, it's reimagining its future. From lighting up villages with solar energy to reconnecting the nation through railways, reforming education, and taking back control of its natural resources, the country is making intentional moves to rebuild itself from the ground up. This is not just a story of government policy, it's a story of resilience, ambition, and the determination of a people to shape their own destiny. Let's take you inside this revolution of change, starting with one of the most essential needs of any modern society, electricity, which takes USTO Project Number 1, called the Zena Solar Power Plant. Imagine living in a country where only about 2 out of every 10 people have reliable access to electricity. That's the daily reality for millions in Burkina Faso. But thanks to strategic investment in renewable energy, that's beginning to change, and fast. One of the most significant breakthroughs in recent years is the construction of the Zena solar power plant located in the rural village of Zena in Mohone province. With a generation capacity of 26.6 megawatts, this solar facility is a major step forward in solving the nation's long-standing power crisis. What makes Zena truly remarkable is how it came to life. The plant was developed through a public-private partnership between the government of Burkina Faso and Amia Power, a global renewable energy company based in the United Arab Emirates. This collaboration demonstrates the power of global cooperation in tackling local challenges. The plant officially came online in May 2024, bringing clean, affordable electricity to more than 43,000 people. But the impact doesn't stop there. The project also cuts down carbon emissions by over 13,200 tons every year, a significant win for the environment in a region highly vulnerable to climate change. Burkina Faso isn't stopping at Zena. The government has set an ambitious goal to add 500 megawatts of renewable energy capacity by 2025. This includes not only solar, but also hydroelectric and wind projects in the pipeline. With financial support from the International Finance Corporation, IFC, the African Development Bank, and Horizon Invest, the country is actively turning energy poverty into an opportunity for green growth. These aren't just numbers. They represent real, life-changing developments. Picture school children who can now study at night, small businesses with the power to operate more efficiently, hospitals that can refrigerate medicine and run vital equipment. This is how access to electricity becomes a foundation for progress. But energy alone isn't enough. For a landlocked country like Burkina Faso, connectivity is critical, particularly with its coastal neighbors. That's where the next chapter of this transformation unfolds. Project number 2 is the Abidjan-Ouagadougou-Kaya Railway. Rehabilitation electricity is lighting up communities, but for trade, mobility, and national integration, Burkina Faso needs more than just power. It needs movement. Enter the Abidjan-Ouagadougou-Kaya railway line, a historical backbone of regional commerce that's getting a long overdue revival. Stretching approximately 1,260 kilometers, this railway links the Burkinabe capital Ouagadougou to the port, city of Abidjan in Côte d'Ivoire, and extends toward Kaya in the country's northeast. For decades, it was the artery through which goods flowed in and out of Burkina Faso, connecting it to global markets via the Atlantic Ocean. But years of underinvestment and wear left the line in a state of decline. Now, that's changing. The Burkinabe government, in partnership with Ivorian authorities and international donors, is spearheading a comprehensive rehabilitation of the railway. The focus: enhancing safety, improving efficiency, and modernizing the infrastructure for both passenger and freight transport. But this isn't just about fixing old tracks. The government has announced plans to invest $53.1 million beginning in 2026 to expand and upgrade the national rail system. This includes upgrading terminals, adding new locomotives, and digitizing logistics to create a smoother, faster, and more reliable transportation network. Why is this so crucial? For Burkina Faso, which imports the bulk of its goods through coastal ports, Better rail connectivity means reduced transport costs, improved food security, and faster delivery of vital commodities like fuel, medicine, and construction materials. For local farmers and producers, it opens access to new markets, both domestically and internationally. The revitalization of the railway isn't just about steel tracks and freight. It's about stitching together the social and economic fabric of a nation. It's about linking rural towns with urban centers, connecting opportunity to those who need it most. But if infrastructure is the skeleton of a country's development, education is its soul. That's where the next phase of Burkina Faso's transformation is taking place. Inside the classroom. For project number 3, we have the Repair Project. In a country facing internal displacement, security threats, and limited resources, the challenges to education are immense. And yet, Burkina Faso is choosing not to back down. Instead, it's pushing forward with one of the most ambitious education reform programs in West Africa. The Repair Project, short for Restoring Education System Performance and Improving Resilience, is a bold, multi-million-dollar plan backed by the World Bank and other global partners. With a budget of $140 million, the project aims to rebuild and modernize the education system, especially in areas affected by violence and instability. So, what exactly is Repair doing? For starters, it's expanding access to early and primary education by building new schools and hiring more trained teachers. The project also includes developing alternative learning models for children who can't attend traditional schools, like mobile classrooms for displaced populations and community-based schooling. The focus isn't just on getting kids into classrooms. It's about improving the quality of learning once they're there. That means updated curriculums, better training for teachers, and more accessible learning materials. In regions where language barriers have often hindered education, the project also emphasizes bilingual instruction to ensure inclusivity. One of Repair's most innovative aspects is its emphasis on resilience, ensuring schools can withstand shocks like conflict or natural disasters. This includes infrastructure that's safe and secure, as well as psychosocial support for students who've experienced trauma. Why does this matter? Because investing in education is about more than literacy. It's about building a generation that can lead Burkina Faso into the future, equipped with the skills, values, and confidence to innovate, solve problems, and lead change. Already, early results are promising. Enrollment numbers are increasing in conflict-affected zones, and communities are reporting higher attendance and engagement levels among students. It's a long road, but the direction is right, and the determination is strong. That's not all. The next projects we are going to talk about are the numerous mining projects across Burkina Faso. While social investments are laying the foundation for a better society, the real game changer for Burkina Faso's economy may lie beneath its soil, literally. With rich deposits of gold, the country has long been a key player in West Africa's mining industry. But until recently, the profits from that gold have mostly flowed overseas. Now, Burkina Faso is rewriting the rules of ownership. Gold is Burkina Faso's most valuable export. For years, this precious metal has been a major source of national income. Yet, ironically, it hasn't translated into widespread development. Why? Because much of the mining sector has been dominated by foreign companies, with limited benefit, flowing to local communities or the national budget. But under the leadership of Captain Ibrahim Traoré, that's changing. The government is now taking bold steps toward nationalizing and reforming the mining industry, aiming to ensure that Burkina Faso's natural wealth benefits its people first. One of the most notable changes came in 2023, when the state took majority control of key mining sites, most notably through the creation of Société Nationale des Mines, SONAMIB, a state-owned enterprise tasked with overseeing gold production, improving transparency, and enforcing fair labor practices. In addition to increasing national ownership, the government has begun renegotiating contracts with foreign firms, demanding more favorable terms for the country. Royalties are being adjusted, environmental standards are being enforced, and more revenues are being reinvested into local infrastructure, especially in mining regions that have often been neglected. There's also a new push to formalize artisanal and small-scale mining, which employs thousands of Burkinabe but has historically operated without legal protection, regulation, or safety standards. By bringing these miners into the formal economy, the government is not only improving livelihoods, but also boosting tax revenue and environmental compliance. In short, Burkina Faso is no longer content to be a supplier of raw materials for foreign profit. It's moving toward value-added processing, job creation, and economic sovereignty, with gold as the engine and good governance as the driver. Meanwhile, none of these reforms would be possible without one thing: security. For over a decade, Burkina Faso has struggled with violent extremism, particularly in its northern and eastern regions. Groups affiliated with Al-Qaeda and ISIS have exploited weak state presence, leading to thousands of deaths and the displacement of over 2 million people. But Captain Traoré's government has introduced a new assertive strategy, one that focuses on homegrown solutions to restore peace and protect national sovereignty. At the heart of this approach is the Volunteers for the Defense of the Homeland (VDP) program. This initiative trains and equips thousands of civilian auxiliaries to work alongside the National Army in securing vulnerable communities. These volunteers are drawn from the very populations most affected by violence, making them deeply motivated and locally knowledgeable. The government has also intensified operations to reclaim territory, investing in new equipment, intelligence, capacity, and partnerships with neighboring countries facing similar threats. It has also reduced dependence on foreign military presence, notably the French troops, who were withdrawn in early 2023 as the country moved to take full control of its security apparatus. The shift has been controversial, but it is undeniably rooted in a deeper desire for self-determination. Burkina Faso is choosing to stand on its own feet, take responsibility for its defense, and chart a path toward peace that is both nationally owned and locally led. This approach is already showing results. More towns once under siege are returning to normal life. Markets are reopening. Displaced families are beginning to return home, and confidence in the state is gradually being restored. Security isn't just about soldiers and guns. It's about creating an environment where development can thrive, education can continue, and opportunity can flourish. And that's exactly what this new chapter in Burkina Faso's history is trying to achieve. At just 37 years old, Captain Ibrahim Traoré is one of the youngest leaders in the world. Yet he carries the weight of a nation seeking justice, sovereignty, and dignity. Since coming to power in a popular military transition in September 2022, Traoré has positioned himself as more than a military figure. He presents himself as a revolutionary leader, inspired by the legacy of Thomas Sankara, Burkina Faso's iconic Marxist leader from the 1980s who championed self-reliance, anti-corruption, and Pan-Africanism. Like Sankara, Traoré speaks boldly about Africa's right to own its resources, educate its children with pride, and defend its borders without foreign intervention. But unlike the idealism that defined much of Sankara's tenure, Traoré is working to ground his vision in practical policies: solar panels, rail lines, school construction, and strategic nationalization. His speeches often strike a chord with ordinary Burkinabe, especially youth, who make up over 65% of the population. For them, he represents a break from politics as usual, a symbol of hope, independence, and assertive leadership in an era of uncertainty. Of course, not everyone agrees with his methods. Critics warn that centralized power, restrictions on media, and military oversight risk undermining democratic institutions. But even those critics acknowledge one thing: Burkina Faso is changing, and it's changing on its own terms. What's Burkina Faso's message to Africa and the world? In an era when many African nations are grappling with the balance between sovereignty and globalization, Burkina Faso offers a powerful case study. It's a nation that has said enough to external dependency. A nation that's investing in clean energy, resilient infrastructure, local education, and indigenous defense. A nation that believes it can and must determine its own future. But this transformation is not without sacrifice. The road is long, the obstacles are real. Security remains fragile. The economy still needs deep diversification. And international cooperation must be managed with caution, but not isolation. Yet what Burkina Faso shows is that vision matters, leadership matters, And above all, the will of the people matters. With every solar panel installed in Zina, with every train that arrives in Kaya, with every child who returns to a rebuilt school, this country is making a statement, not just to itself, but to the world. We are not weak. We are not forgotten. We are not defined by our struggles. We are Burkina Faso, and we are rebuilding our nation. From the Sahel's dry fields to the vibrant streets of Ouagadougou, change is unfolding across Burkina Faso. It's a transformation that blends innovation with tradition, independence with solidarity, and hardship with hope. And while the world watches, one thing is clear: Burkina Faso is no longer waiting for help. It's taking action, lighting its homes, training its defenders, educating its children, and reclaiming its gold. This is not the story of a nation in crisis. It is the story of a nation in motion.